That was actually a pretty simple process to get my driver's license and the license plates. I also thought while I'm here, I'm gonna go ahead and get a library card. To get a library card.
Okay.
So they actually charge a $5 annual fee since they're out of the county system, and you just have to pay it online to renew. And I'm being quiet because I'm in the library. It's great because you can actually check out books while you're on the road. So it's in digital format. You just have to download this app called Overdrive, which I haven't done yet, but we're gonna try that out. Good morning, Story Chasers. I'm still here in Livingston, Texas. I just got gassed up and ate some breakfast. And let me tell you, it was cold last night. God, it was cold. It was, I think, a low of 28 degrees. And I had hooked up to electric at the Rainbow Park here in Livingston. That's part of the Escapees RV park. And I did that just so I could run the furnace all night, and that thing just couldn't keep up. And what's interesting is usually it works really, really well. But I just think it was so cold, it just couldn't do what it needed to do to keep it warm. I had it on 77 and high, and I was still freezing. The whole reason why I decided to hook up to electric is because I didn't want to have to run through all my propane so quickly. As you know, it's really difficult to put propane in that RV, and I didn't want to have to stop and go get it, so I just thought I'll hook up, and I had to go get my mail and everything, so it just worked out. Oh my gosh, did you hear that? I just said mail. That's the Texas twang already coming out. I do that when I come back here. I start getting my southern accent back. It's been a long time. All right, well, we're headed to Dallas, and hopefully we'll continue to have this beautiful sunny weather. Much gratitude towards that. And we're going to see the family, friends. Well, hello, Story Chasers. I have such a treat for you today. I've left the Dallas, Texas area, and I'm headed down south to Austin, Texas, specifically Round Rock, which is just outside of Austin. And I'm visiting a high school friend of mine who started this amazing honey bee farm. I think it's called a honeybee farm. We'll have to ask him and make sure I have the terminology right. But it's called Round Rock Honey. His name is Conrad Bouffard. So we're gonna go visit with Conrad today and see this amazing spot to visit in Austin if you're over here. He has tours that he gives of his facility where he actually makes the honey. And he even has beekeeping classes if you guys are interested in that. But we're gonna go visit with him today. And one of the other things that I wanted to talk with him about is what motivated him to start this company, because he did not start out in beekeeping. He actually was a school teacher and then decided to follow his passion. And we're gonna find out what obstacles he overcame to go down this road. I'm very interested in why people start their businesses. They always have this dream, and I like to find out, what is that motivator? What is that dream about? Hopefully this inspires you to also decide what it is that you want and go after it. That's why I created this whole create, do, live principle that you've been seeing on my YouTube channel lately. The create, do, live principle is all about deciding what it is that you want and visualize what that plan is. That's the creation phase, so write it down on paper. So the do phase is actually putting all of those action steps that you created in the create phase and put them all into action. And the live part is, well, that's kind of the juice of the create, do, live principle. It's you're now living out your dream. So the cool thing is that I have an 8-week boot camp that I've put together that teaches you exactly this principle, plus like how to actually put everything into action and create a new business if that's what you're looking to do and work remotely. I'm teaching all about the nomadic lifestyle, how to transition into it, and start your own business or find a job that you can work remotely. So make sure you click that link below in the pinned comment or the description box where you can find more information about the 8-week bootcamp. All right, guys, let's get started.
It's really good.
It's yummy.
So we have two different types of honey. There's Round Rock honey and Good Bees honey. And this is where both of them are bottled. The key difference is that Good Bees honey is a cost-conscious type honey. It's mainly for people who don't want to spend very much on honey and who don't mind if a honey is local or not local. So it's our value brand. Round Rock honey is our signature brand. It's local and it's highest quality you can get. This is where everything is bottled back here. Right now we're gearing up to do a big run for Trader Joe's.
So do you sell under their name or your name?
Our name.
Okay.
We don't sell to anyone unless they use our name. Basically the way it works is you put the frames in and they spin around and the honey goes against the outside, drains down to the bottom, the spigot over here, into the bottles. And
your little family picture.
this was done by a guy named El Federico Archuleta. When I was first out of high school, I went to Southwestern University in Georgetown, Texas. I was a special education teacher, and I taught. I went into it thinking that I would teach for 10 years because at that point in my career I wasn't doing anything else. I was starting a few companies, but that was all on the side, and the teaching was my main focus. So I did that for 10 years, and just like my old job at Mayflower, I kept getting into conflict. I had 12 principals in 10 years. So the school districts were showing over and over and over again that they were willing to hire the least among us to be the leader, and I didn't like that. And so I told them, I said, you become a leader through fitness, not because you're willing to be a lackey or something like that. I got fired and then rehired, and fired and rehired. One principal would fire me, and the next one would say, oh, we know that principal, we know why they did it, so we're going to hire you over here. And then the irony of it was I came to work here in Round Rock ISD, and I got fired from Round Rock ISD. On the same day, I won a National Teaching Award. And so
how does that happen?
it just does. I mean,
how do you think, like, all of that, starting from when you graduated from high school, you went into trucking, the hiring, the firing, all of those things, how do you think that affected you to start Round Rock Honey?
Most people in a corporate job are willing to make sacrifices in terms of they're willing to turn away from what they really feel in order to satisfy the needs of a boss or someone like that. I was only willing to do that for a short amount of time before I couldn't take it anymore, and then I would just respond, and it was usually not in a way that would allow me to keep my job. And so I thought to myself, it's not that I really want to be the boss or anything like that. It's just that I couldn't work for other people. I absolutely, that's how you know when you really are an entrepreneur. If you cannot work, like constitutionally, you cannot work for other people. And when you work for yourself, it's 10, 20, 100 times more financially rewarding, and you have more freedom and everything else, then it's kind of like, that's the universe telling you need to go in that direction. So that was the big lesson from those years of my life, was that it wasn't that I couldn't do the teaching, because obviously I could. I got a lot of recognition for it and all that. And it wasn't that I couldn't do well in business. It's just that I couldn't do well in business working for other people. And I think that the way that I operate now really proves out my philosophy, in that I take extremely good care of my employees. I mean, I bought them, almost all of them, new cars. We're working on a program where we're going to be buying them houses this year. We pay them better than they could get anywhere else. And sometimes it's not just a tiny percentage better, it's a multiple better. We take them all over the world, like David that you met back there. He's been to Turkey with me, England with me, Argentina with me, and all of that is professional development. And so we're not only paying them better and rewarding them better, they are getting a significant percentage of the profits of this company in terms of compensation.
See, I think that's really key. You and I share a philosophy, because I'm the same way. Like, I've worked for a bunch of people, but I would clash with them because I didn't agree with how they were managing, because one, it was irresponsible.
Right.
Two, it was at the detriment of sometimes the client. It was very, I'll just say, mediocre. Mediocrity was accepted, and I couldn't handle that.
Right.
I was very different than that. And I agree with your philosophy, too, about taking care of your employees. I think if you take care of your employees, but go, like, above and beyond, like you're doing, like buying them cars and buying them houses, that's incredible. That's unheard of. But they'll take care of you, too.
Oh, and they do. The companies are a vehicle by which to allow good people that have not had an opportunity to rise up to their full potential. Like, a lot of my employees came to me, like James came from Whataburger. Tara came here working for a dog place, like a dog ranch. David was a janitor. I mean, these were all people that had, the common thing among them was that they had a hobby in beekeeping. And my rule is that everyone starts in the warehouse, everyone pushes a broom for a little bit, and where I can get to know them and their work ethic and all that. And then after that, the floodgates open.
So do you have any advice for people who are wanting to start a business, especially if they want to start it on the road, and kind of what it takes?
My kind of boilerplate advice for anyone wanting to start a business is just to do it. Ask yourself, take an inventory and ask yourself, are you willing to make the sacrifice that is required in terms of labor hours and just life commitment to run this business? And is it something that will maintain keep your interest for however long it is that you want to run the business? Then and if the answer to that is yes, then go for it. And because I believe that intuitively, if someone is truly interested in something, if they don't know how to do it, they'll figure it out. And if they can't figure it out, then maybe they shouldn't get into that business. Like, I can't figure out being a heart surgeon, so I'm not going to get into it,
Right.
But I can figure out how to bottle honey, how to raise bees, my big thing is line food manufacturing. I like it because
You start over here with something, you fill it up with something of value, and then you sell it. It's very, very simple. It's a 3-part process. I don't really ever have jealousy or envy of other people, but except when it comes to travel-based businesses. I really admire people that can have businesses that are detached from brick and mortar, because that's a big accomplishment in a lot of ways. And when I was, I've done it before by doing the truck thing that I was doing, the 18-wheeler, and I love that life. In fact, an episode of that life was documented in the New York Times. The New York Times interviewed me, and I think that the whole feeling of that time was captured in that article.
That's one of the reasons why I wanted to come here and visit with you. Not only because I haven't seen you in 30 years,
Right.
but offer like a really cool place for people to come and visit. You're local. They could buy your honey, take a tour of your facilities to kind of see how it works. And then you said you have beekeeping schools too, right?
Yeah. We used to be in like 9 different cities. And at that point, we were the largest beekeeping school in the world. We ran, I want to say that the total number of people that have gone through our beekeeping classes has been somewhere between 750 and 850,000 people. And I know that this year alone, we've sold 260 hives that are going all over Central Texas. They have a copper top, and then a super, which is where the honey is made, and then 2 brood chambers. Everything is coated with wax, which is why you see that kind of stuff right there. We've had a good impact, and that's what we wanted to do. That's all we wanted to do, really, because the money made off of the beekeeping school is not significant. Where we make our money is off of the honey, and so this is really more of a labor of love.
Conrad took me out to just one of the places he keeps his bees in Round Rock, and I must admit I was a little bit nervous.
So if I get out of the car right now, are we okay to get out?
Yeah, so what they'll typically do is they'll dive bomb you. They won't sting you on the first go. They'll warn you if they start hitting your head. If they do that, then it's time to get back in the car. Man, what a beautiful day. Holy cow.
Conrad made me feel right at ease and provided so much education on not only safety around the bees, but also the benefits about bees and allergies and how they're so beneficial to our ecosystem. They have over approximately 4,000 hives, with this area being the main one where the beekeeping classes are held.
Wearing black, and bees interpret black as a threat. They're kind of like bulls seeing red. They see black and they don't like that. So if the bees start to ding us, that's them warning us that they've had enough of us.
Okay.
So if they come up and they bounce us off the head like that, that's like saying, you better get away because I'm about to sting you. But you can see that they're not.
Should we run or slowly walk?
Slowly walk. They're really not concerned with us.
Okay.
They're really concerned
Yeah, they're not around us at all right now.
Yeah. It would only if we got up really close. Now, there may be 1 or 2 that come up to us, especially the longer we stay here, especially wearing black. This tall hive here is the strongest one out here. That's got brood up through about half the hive and then honey on the top. And that one is a very defensive hive. They are very proud of themselves. And so that one is a little bit mean, but the other ones are all pretty good. We also have a lot of other wildlife out here. There are roadrunners, there are Mexican eagles, there are rattlesnakes, a lot of rattlesnakes, scorpions, bees, of course. And it all sounds very threatening, but actually it's not. It's a very good and safe place to live and to keep bees. And the other great thing about if you live in Texas and you eat Texas honey on a regular basis, we're talking 2 teaspoons a day, a lot of, say, kind of annoying health problems that you might have, like allergies and general swelling and things like that, a lot of those will just go away. It's just beautiful out here. I love it. This land out here was essentially dead land. Before we moved the bees out here. They stimulate these trees. If you look at these trees versus the trees that are over there, not this one immediately, but the ones that are way over there, you can see how much more the bees have worked on this tree here versus those over there. And so
Yeah, it's like completely thriving. Look at how green it is.
yeah, it has that fluorescent green.
What an absolutely incredible experience and place to visit around Austin, Texas. Thank you so much, Conrad, for inviting me into your business and sharing with me your passion for bees.
Story Chasers. Does it look like I'm in Dallas still? I have a hat on. I'm not in Mexico, but I am by the ocean. Well, it's the Gulf of Mexico. Kind of being quiet because there's other RVers out here. I left Dallas. I enjoyed my family so much. I had a great time hanging out with them. And then I was gonna stay in Austin for a little while, but I was feeling very overwhelmed is probably the best word. I literally have not been by myself since December. Can you believe that? December. I've been either with people or in the city. So I just needed to be in nature somewhere where I could just really be comfortable and kind of recharge. So I'm a true introvert where I get my energy from being by myself. I needed that a lot. So I came out here. I drove 3 hours down to Port Lavaca. I'm staying at Magnolia Beach. I thought it was going to be a bigger beach than this, but let me turn this around and show you. The beach really just goes up to where my van is. Other than that, it's like a little road right there. So it's very tiny, but you can see there's like a row of RVs. You can hear the birds singing. And the beach is like this shell. There's like little guest houses or places I think maybe people can rent. Oh, do you hear that guy? Listen to him over there. He's not gonna give us anything. So I'm just gonna hang out here for a little while. I don't know how long I'm gonna be here. As long as I can. There's no sign saying that you have to leave at a specific time, so I may be out here a couple days, I may be out here a week. We'll see. It'd be nice if I could stay out here a week. It's really pretty. Gets a little bit of traffic during the day on that street. You're only supposed to go 15 miles per hour, but you know, people don't ever follow rules. So they go kind of fast and it kicks up this really fine white dust. Thankfully, I didn't get any in my RV yesterday. I had the windows closed on that side. So it stays pretty clean if you just have a window open towards the beach side. So I'm gonna go make some coffee now, walk Lily. We're gonna go enjoy this nice sunrise and take a walk.